Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the RoadMap podcast. I'm thrilled today to have my guy Andrew Clays from Team Imagine, absolutely killing it. I hope this content provides a ton of value to what you're trying to build as an agent and or agency owner. Just want to jump right into it. Andrew, love having you on here today. Super
Thanks, man.
excited.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, glad you could join today. Andrew, right off, you're crushing it. But before we get into that, I kind of want to talk about what you're doing, what led up to what you're doing now, obviously
Sure.
with FFL. What were you
Yeah.
doing prior to FFL?
Sure. Yeah. So I had prior to FFL, I was actually in the car business. I had was in the car business for about 4 years, and I was in sales. So I really enjoyed that. Got a chance to work with a lot of people, and that was my journey. Yeah, I really never wanted to. My goal was never to really move up because I saw what managers had to go through and live and all that kind of thing, and I never wanted to FaceTime my kid at 9 p.m. From the showroom floor. So really, yeah. So really, my journey was to stay in sales and be in sales, and then my goal was to build a community involvement. They knew me as Big Red in the car business, so people knew me as Big Red. People would literally, I'd be at the grocery store, and be like, "That's Big Red." So that was my thing, and so I love that. I really enjoyed that, and so yeah, I got into that, and then saw this opportunity, so I took it.
Love it. I mean, so you weren't just doing car sales; you were crushing it in car sales
Uh,
at a super high level.
humbly, I will say no, but I will
You
say
were though.
I had a good journey. Yeah, I was really, I ended up finding that, I ended up finding some success in that pretty quick. So.
Love it. How did you find out about FFL? What was that kind of like?
Yeah, so my business partner Greg is his wife had gotten into it. Both Greg and I had actually were in the car business together. Both had our own goals of where we were going to go with that, and then so his wife obviously not enjoying his schedule because the car business retail hours were pretty treacherous sometimes. She was like, "Hey, I want you home." So she told him about the opportunity. We spent a lot of time over at their house, and so convention came, and Greg came back and was like, "Hey, man, this is the real deal. You need to hear about it." So we heard about it. He made me a believer. I saw it tangibly. I was very skeptical, but I saw it. I got to talk to you and Matt, and then the rest is history, man. It was all up, kind of going from there. So
Yeah, talk a little bit more about your relationship with Greg and kind of
yeah,
like how you guys decided to kind of merge together and do this business together. What
sure.
was that kind of like? What led up to
Well,
that?
it's kind of crazy because Greg and I, we actually, so the dealership that we had worked at was a pretty large franchise. Like we had 5 different locations that we sold at. So Greg and I didn't even work at the same store. So to be honest with you, most of my time in the car business, we weren't even friends. We didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
So it was a total like crazy thing where it was like he actually invited us. It was like last summer. He invited his friend that's when his wife had just kind of started getting feelers in the business, but really wasn't all the way in. But he invited his friend out to a bonfire. It was crazy. He had like just told like his friend had said, "Yeah, we can't be there that night." It was like an hour before they were supposed to go. So he calls me on a whim, was like, "Hey, no, we don't chat much. We kind of hung out here and there. Do you want to go out and hang out at this place? We can get, we can get beer. We can hang around a bonfire, play some cornhole." I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." So we went. Dude, we had an amazing time. We started legit hanging out, every couple weekends, and then it turned into we're probably, honestly, dude, I'm at their house like 3 or 4 or 5 nights a week. So that's kind of, we turned into a really cool friendship. It was a total just ordained thing, and then because of that, I trusted him. He
Yeah.
said this is legit, and he had some pretty lofty goals of owning his own dealership and becoming, a new car manager, and he really wanted to work his way up through that corporate ladder more than I did. And so when he had said, this is legit, I'm in it, I took him seriously and I said, "Okay, I'll listen." And so,
Yeah.
yeah, it was that friendship that really was crazy how fast I would say this plan of getting into FFL was planned day one of us meeting at that bonfire. I mean, it was already just steps to do that. So it's kind of crazy to see that
Love
play
it,
out.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I love what you guys have done is you guys have taken you guys have done sales at such a high level, right?
Yeah.
But you guys have brought a lot of ideas and a lot of different things that you
Yeah.
were doing in the car dealerships. You guys,
Yeah.
day one, got your merch together. You got your, I mean, you guys have, done a
A
really
little
good
bit.
job being on social media. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys just brought a fire.
Yeah.
And I love that you guys, how coachable you guys are
Sure.
for such coming from doing something at such a high level.
Right.
It's not always, people aren't always the most
Right.
coachable here, right?
Yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
that you guys have done that. And it's, so kind of leading into that, you're off to a super hot start. About 10 weeks, I think we talked about in the
Yeah.
business so far,
Yeah.
give or take a couple, and coming up on protecting almost 100 families already,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
absolutely off to a scorching start. What has led to that like early success for you so far in the writing?
Well, I'll be honest with you, man. We were instilled with just hard work from the dealership, right? I mean, again,
Yeah,
being in an office that's air conditioned is way nicer than standing on the pavement at 90-degree days trying to sell a car. I mean, it just is. So,
yeah,
I saw that. So that's obviously a lot of it. We were already used to the hours of what this business
the
is. So
grind.
when somebody says come in and grind, it wasn't like, oh, I got to change my lifestyle. It's okay. I just keep doing the same lifestyle I am, and now you can make 5 times a month. You can help 5 times as many families that I could in the car business, which was cool. So I saw an opportunity to help families. I saw an opportunity to change our lifestyle, especially being home, right? Being in the car business, you're kind of no matter. That was the one thing I'll say about just where we were at with the car business was no matter how good you were, no matter how successful you were, how much of an impact you made, the store had to stay open. The store had to be open,
Yeah,
and they have to be available. So when people walk on the lot, they have people to talk to them. So it wasn't you can make your own schedule and shift your hours around and go on vacation whenever you want. It's not like that. It's just here's the hours, come work the retail hours, and thank you for being successful for us, and we'll reward you financially for that. But it wasn't a freedom thing, which is what I was really, I think, searching for more than anything.
sure.
So that. And honestly, man, we just had our first daughter, Everly, in December. So again, they say that a dad will do anything to make his kids happy and set a lifestyle, and it's so true. I mean, that's what it is. So
Yeah,
I see an opportunity where I can help my family live a lifestyle that neither one, my wife and I, got a chance to live as a kid, and we were not like we lived a very good life. I was able to do a lot of amazing things, but this is just giving us an opportunity to even do more than that and even help more families and serve in a way that we never even thought was possible. So that's honestly the motivation, man, is to to help my family, protect others, and it was just being willing to work hard day one, which is a
yeah,
lot, which is the secret. We tell all of our new agents that's the secret sauce in this business. If there is any smoke screen to this business to how can you be successful, it's just freaking hard work. It's just hard
yeah.
work. You can't teach that, and so that's the secret sauce.
Love it. Kind of want to dig into kind of like your sales process, right? Because
Yeah.
you're already helping new agents come on, right? And you're already
Right.
helping duplicate yourself in this business, which
Yeah.
I think is really key because there's a lot of
Yeah.
top producers at Family First Life, right?
Mm.
The real great ones, though, the ones that can build an agency, I
Yeah.
think it's really cool that if you can be able to duplicate that,
Right.
that's someone who's unique in this
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Because I think our process, if we don't make it duplicatable, then where does something special, right? Where
Right.
instead, I think if you have processes to duplicate yourself, that's what
Yeah.
really makes a
Yeah.
great leader in this business.
Yeah.
So kind of talk through, if you could talk through some of your sales processes that
Sure.
you've kind of in place.
So yeah, no, that's great. So that's really good. As you can tell, I'm a very low energy kind of guy. I'm just kidding. I have a lot of energy. So that that obviously helps. I'm all about getting people hyped and jacked about an opportunity. And obviously I don't want to oversell it, right? Which can be
Yeah,
a downfall to me, right? So even though it's, I think it's amazing, I'm bought in, I know what this thing can be, I got to make sure that I'm tapering that back a little bit to my, agents coming on and new agents. It's like, hey, remember, this is hard work. This is where it's
yeah,
at. So I would say setting proper expectations. I mean, that's any relationship or business mentoring I'm finding is expectations are literally 90% of the battle of,
yep,
hey, this is what this truly looks like. Everybody's journey is a little bit different. But what I'm going to need you is just to stick it out and grind and figure it out. And we will do it. I'm not going to let you fail because I'm here for you. So being willing to help people set proper expectations because people don't know what they don't know. So they come
yeah,
into this thing having, I mean, they really are excited about it, but they don't know what to expect. And then they get kicked in the teeth when it's like, we tell everybody a month in this business is a year in any other because of how much activity goes into this business, right? I
Yeah.
tell any real estate agent, car salesman, really anybody that works any sort of sales job in retail before this, car salesman, if it was a good day, I'd sell 5 cars in a day. That's a good
Yeah.
day, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I would talk to 10 people, maybe 15 on a maximum day, right? Like that's really about it. So in this business, the fact that you talk to 15 people in 10 minutes or 50, 20 minutes, it is just unmatched, right? You're
Yeah.
gonna how you would talk to 100 people in a week, let's say, not even. You're gonna talk to 1,000 people in a week in this business. So there's just so much activity that goes into it. So with that, you have to make sure that people are mentally like, hey, you got to be prepared to go through a lot at the beginning because you're not used to this amount of activity. You're just not,
Yeah.
no matter who you are, unless you've done nobody's done this. There's just nothing like it. So be willing to go through that as one. And then how to actually duplicate my process is teaching guys, and that's like here's what I'll tell you. I had millions of dollars of sales training poured into me when I was at the dealership because the dealership that I was at, truly, I appreciate it, valued teaching
Yeah.
and growing, right? So I got to be a byproduct of that, which was really cool. So that was one. So with that, now sales is sales at the end of the day, right? And just serving and having the mindset of, this is what I tell my agents, you have to be willing to see the entire field, right? In this business, too often, we get so hung up on, we just need to say the right things. We need to try to give the person exactly what they think they want, right?
Yeah.
And also, just not, you're an advisor in this business, right? We're advisors, right? We're not just order takers. So
Love that.
advise the
Yeah.
person, right? They come in, they really don't know what they want. They don't, I mean, they've never done it. You're the professional. You're the only, Shawn Michaels say, there's only one of us with a license in this room, and it's not you. So not to be arrogant, but only one of us have done this a million times. And again, I go back to, it's not car sales or real estate where we're only doing this once a day, twice a day. We're doing this 20 times a day, right?
Yeah.
So that's why that's how we can get so good so fast. How I was able to be off to such fast start. I realized to get good at this, I have to just do this a lot and be willing to put in the amount of hours and being willing to have as many opportunities as I can. So with that, then I can get better at it, right?
Yeah. I want to talk about, kind of shift on you a little bit.
Yeah.
What type of leads are you working right now?
So I actually, just, it's funny, I was talking to a couple people about this yesterday. Right now, currently, I'm running so I have my hands in a couple different pots. I have Facebook. I'm running
Okay.
some ads on that. I'm doing some second chance. I'm doing some fresh, and then I've even dove
Primarily
into
mortgage, right?
yeah, mortgage protection. Yeah, exactly.
Let's do this. Let's kind of take me through. I'm someone who filled out one of those forms. I'm a client who's meeting
Yeah,
with you. Kind of take me through your sales process so
sure.
that a new agent at home who's watching this can kind of see, hey, what is Andrew doing in his in-home? So if
Do
you
you
could
want
kind
the
of,
in-home or actually booking the appointment?
let's start with, let's do the in-home.
Okay,
Let's do that part of it.
cool.
I think
Yeah,
that'll be
so
really beneficial to a lot of the new agents that are coming on to kind of
sure.
see, hey, what is he doing? I think
Yeah.
that's a lot of where a
So
lot
this
of
is going to be
takeaways
a
come
pretty
from.
condensed version of that, of course. So if you want to hear,
Yeah.
everything, I would say watch me on 2 days or pick my brain, text me. But
Yeah.
overall, my initial setup is I come into it, hey Mike, let me just go ahead and confirm everything I have on file here. Hope you're having. I'll start off by saying, hey Mike, appreciate your time. I know you're busy. I appreciate you, taking time to do this. Let's make sure we use this time we'll use this time valuably and get as much out of it as we can. I'll say that almost every time, because I want to acknowledge the fact that they are taking time out of their day and they're busy. So I appreciate that about them. So that's what I'll say. Then I'll go into it and I'll say, all right, Mike, so let me just confirm everything I have on file here, and then we'll just go ahead and dive right into it. Confirm the address, confirm the amount that they still have on the loan. Now it gives me some credibility because I'm, again, now I'm going over what they have. Cool.
Yep.
Okay. So guys, I always like to start off by asking this. Are you familiar with the mortgage protection underwriting process, or is this your very first time?
Yeah.
Most
First
people will
time.
say it's my very first time. Cool. So guys, just understand I do this about 20 times a day. You do this once every 20 years. So no question's a dumb question. Okay. Ask me anything, slow me down. Sometimes I think something just makes sense and I just say it because I've done this a million times. You haven't. So ask me questions if there's any. Okay.
Yep.
So I always, then I'll go into explaining. So anytime, guys, anytime that you take out a home equity line, you get a new home, you refinance, there's always three key things we need to make sure that are foundational to the home. Okay. Now I'm sure you're going to be familiar with these, but I'm going to still go through them with you just in case you're not. All right. Then I go through with, hey, the first one's going to be your PMI. Then you've got your homeowner's insurance. Those two, again, are designed to help the lender. Those two really do nothing for you. Even the homeowner's insurance that protects the home is designed to protect the lender's asset while you're paying it off. Okay, so it's really for them. This is solely the one that's designed to help you. The mortgage protection, this is the one that pays off for down the home if you were to get sick or pass away. All right. Okay. So, and then I'll always keep them engaged. You guys understand? Okay. Yep. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Yep. Cool.
Love it.
I'm always checking in, making sure that they're with me, because if they don't get it, then I need to slow down and explain it better. Okay. Right. So that's where I'll always slow down. Hey guys,
making sure they're engaged. Love it.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, this is the one coverage that's going to pay off for down the home if you get sick or pass away. You understand that?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, cool. So with that being said, my job's very simple. So now they require to be medically underwritten. All that means is they have me call you. I'm a medical underwriter. It's my job to ask you a few medical questions and a few financial questions just to get a good understanding of the home and the situation, as well as I work with about 30 different insurance carriers. Okay. So it's my job to figure out what you can and can't get qualified for, and then find something that makes sense financially for you, because it makes no sense for you to be rich while you're dead and poor while you're living. Okay. So that's my job here, guys. I'm going to ask you a few medical questions, ask you a few financial questions. I'm going to explain how the coverage works. And then at the end of this, what we're going to do is we're going to submit it. We're going to submit for proof of coverage, and then we're going to get everything handled today, and we're going to get it all closed out on our end. Okay. Do you have any questions off of anything I've just said?
Nope. Makes sense.
Nope. Cool. So then I go into it and I start asking the financial inventory questions. So I think that's setting that up. And that's what I've told new agents coming in, because they're like, man, I get so many objections. I get so many things at the end. Well, guys, that tells me that you're missing something at the beginning. That tells me you're not playing chess. You're playing checkers. And I always tell my agents, you're playing chess. Guys, you need to set up your next 2-3 moves ahead of time and make sure that, hey, this is how it should go. This is how I should have the conversation go. And then it's just consistency. This works. So now I'm just going to run that appointment a million times, because it works. It's exactly how it should go. I'm going to set them up, not set them up in a devious way, but set them up to answer the questions the way I would like them to answer them. And then also, hey, keep them engaged. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? Yep. Okay, cool. Then just keep going and making sure you're asking those.
What are you doing to build emotion? Because I know from me, going from having years of sales experience to this, I didn't realize it was an emotional sale. I'm selling all features and benefits and all things are taught, right? Through sales. Right. When, and then when did that kind of click for you? And then also, where are you putting it in your sales presentation? How are you building that to see it's not just another product?
I'm honestly doing it throughout the entire process, because one thing I'll tell you is, somebody told me this, and I'm sure you've heard someone in this business say this, but they say, in this business, we got to focus on the pain points, not the gain points, right? Which was complete reverse from what I was used to, right? In the car business, it was, you would never talk about the bad things about the car. You would honestly almost avoid that. You would talk about how amazing this thing was. It has heated seats. Some of them had massage seats, right? It was like, the more you got excited about it, the more hyped they're about it. And people buy something that they like. They buy someone that they like, right? So that's the whole thing, right? So getting used to the fact that I don't come off as a jerk, but people don't need to like me to make this make sense, right?
Yeah.
In car sales, it was people buy from people they like. No matter how much I like the car, I understand that a car is a commodity in some degree. I could go down the road and get the same car, maybe a few less miles or a few more, but I'm going to find somebody that I like to buy the car from. And that's really, you're selling yourself. In this business, you're still doing that to some degree. You got to be likable, but it's really just facts. It's almost like, guys, this has got to make sense for you. Doesn't matter how much you like me. It's just, here's what it is. Then you go into selling yourself at the end with, hey guys, here's where I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to be your agent. You kind of set that up. So that's one thing I'll say. and then setting the emotion during the appointment. So guys, so this is the coverage that's going to pay off or down the home if you get sick or pass away. Do you understand that? Yep, great. All right. So what I'm going to do is let me go through a few things here with you. Let's talk about, I go through, confirm their basic information. Let's go through income here, guys. What do you guys work hourly or salary jobs? I work hourly. Okay. What do you make hourly? Breaking that sucker down. I make 22 bucks an hour. Cool. So do you work a full 40 hours? Yep. So what do you bring home about every 2 weeks and after taxes are paid? About 1,500. Okay. So you make about 3,000 a month. Does that sound right? Yep. And just confirming everything they're saying, but I want them to say it out loud. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I make 3,000 a month. Cool. Hey, Susie, you also make about 3,000 a month. Is that right? Yep. Okay, guys. So combined, then we make about 6,000 net worth a month. Does that sound right? Yes. Okay. Here's the biggest question I ask, and every new agent should be asking this. What would you say at the end of the month, after all the bills are paid, is left over? Because people don't ask that question, and then they think, oh, this person makes $6,000. Well, people that make $6,000 might spend $6,000
Yeah.
because people that make more money spend more money. So that's the biggest question. You have to know what you're working with. It's okay. Hey, so you guys make about 6,000 net. What would you say after all the bills are paid is left over at the end of the month? Oh, it's probably about $1,000. Okay, so $1,000 is left over at the end of the month. Great. Now I know what I'm working with. I'm not working with 6,000. I'm working with 1,000. Cool. All right, guys, let's go through your mortgage here. So you have this loan. What are you guys paying a month? I'm paying about 2,000 a month. Cool. What do you think the value of it is if you were to put on the market today? About this. Okay, great. Do you guys have any sort of traditional life insurance? Yeah, we have some life insurance. Okay, how much would you say? How much do you guys have? About 10,000. Okay, so here I'm spending it. So that money is really designed for burial and that kind of thing, right? So obviously we can't count that towards income. Yeah, and obviously, and I say, so do you have any sort of traditional life insurance outside of work? And then they say, yeah. Well, I have life insurance in work. Okay, well, the reason I asked that question, Mike, is because we know, work insurance, we're just renting it. We don't own it, right? So we can't use that because you could leave or get fired tomorrow. Don't think you will, but things happen. So we can't always assume that that's going to be available. And then even at the end of your job, you can buy it, but they're going to evaluate it based off your health and age at that point, which might even be too expensive. So what do we have in life insurance outside of work? All about 10,000. Okay, that's designed for the burial, that kind of thing. Okay, here's the big question. This is your trial close, is what I say in this business, guys. And I slow it down, Mike. So let me just recap here. So we make about 6,000 a month, have about 1,000 coming in. You both make about the same. Your mortgage is 2,000, and you both make about 3,000 a month. What do we have in the event that, Mike, tomorrow you woke up and you couldn't work and you can't cash out your life insurance because you didn't pass away? And we can't work and own an income. Now we're living off of 3,000 a month with a mortgage payment of 2,000. What do we have in place right now to offset the bills of the mortgage if that happened tomorrow? And then I just let
that awkward
just
silence.
let that sink in. Don't talk. You know what I mean? Don't talk. Let them think about that. Most times they'll say, oh yeah, we really don't have anything. And then I'll still let it pause. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got to make sure, guys, that's big. Because tell me if I'm wrong here, but if you woke up tomorrow, Mike, couldn't work, didn't have an income, and your wife's only making 3,000, what are we doing with the home? Are we going to be able to stay in it? Like, we can't, right? Based off your income, you just told me. Yeah, probably not. Okay. So, and then here's what I'll do before, and I learned this from Gabe, is before you go even break, I'm going to recap what we've already learned. Okay, guys. So just to recap here, just to make sure we're on the same page. You guys both make about 3,000, 6,000 combined. We have about 1,000 of net. Okay. Right now, we obviously understand that, you're still working. If you were to get sick tomorrow, didn't have an income, we don't have any life insurance, so we really wouldn't be able to stay in the home. So guys, here's what I think I advise really. At this point, really guys, we need to make sure you both have coverage, and we need to make sure that you guys, if something were to happen to you at any point, that you guys are still being able to keep this home. Even if you can't, at least we can have ample time to refinance it or sell it. So I think it makes sense for us to look at coverage for both of you guys to make sure that you both are covered on the home. Are we on the same page there?
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Now they know what I'm about to go do. Great. I'm looking at coverage for both of you guys. And like I said from the beginning, today we're going to get everything finished and we're going to get everything wrapped up and we're going to get an application submitted. So they already knew that from day one. Now I'm just affirming it before I break. Great, guys, do me a favor. I'm going to have you stay close to the phone. Give me about 5-10 minutes. I'm going to go call my underwriter, and I'm just going to figure out a game plan on what makes the most sense for you and your situation, and then we'll go over that coverage. Cool.
Love it.
It's that recap that like gets them to say, oh yeah, I do need that. Almost getting them to just say, that's what I need. Like, and before you've even shown them anything, because here's the deal: once you show money in this business, once you show a dollar sign, it's all over. Their brain goes to something else. So you have to be willing to get them on the same page with that before you even show them anything.
Love it. I want to, that's a lot to unpack. So that was really good. No, I love it. I just want to make sure that, so go over what a trial close is for a new agent or someone who's never really done sales before. What's the importance of a trial close?
So a trial close, what it does, it is you ever been in a relationship and you say, define the relationship, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're defining what are we trying to accomplish here before we go on, right? Because here's the deal. If I think this is what we're doing and these are my expectations, and then those expectations don't line up with your expectations, then that's where we go wrong. And now it's like we get all these rebuttals, or we think I want to think about it. And it's like, what happened? It's like we didn't get on the same page with expectations on what was going to happen next. So a trial close puts you guys on the same page. Because in that moment, if it's like, hey, this is the recap, this is what we need to accomplish, would you guys agree with the same thing? And they say, no, I think we should do this. Okay, now we know what we're trying to accomplish. Now we're on the same page. Tell me what you want if this isn't right. That's what I'm trying to get. So in the car business, we have the same thing, right? You'll hear, we'll go on the test drive. We'll go, they tell you on the original, we kind of have the same thing in the car business. You gather some information. This is what they want, how much they want to spend. This is what they have for trade and all that kind of thing. Then you go out and you find a car. Then you go drive the car, get them to fall in love with it, emotion, sit them down, make them go on get them on a test drive, figure out what they like about it. The biggest question of that whole thing before you go talk about what the payment would be on that car was, hey guys, if this car was affordable, are we taking this car home today? And if they would tell you anything else but yes, then I'm not showing them $1, because then then we need to figure out what do we need to do to get you to that point to say, yeah, it's just about the money at this point. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish really here. It's like, okay, guys, if it all lined up essentially, and it were affordable, this is the amount of coverage we need, and this is who we need to cover. Are we on the same page with that? Yeah. I'm not saying it that way because I'm an advisor, right? Not a salesman. I was a salesman in the car business. I'm an advisor here, which is different, right? So an advisor says, hey guys, this is what I advise. This is what I see needs to happen. Are we on the same page? Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to go show the coverage.
Love it. Because I feel like a lot of agents, they're just closing at the end. They're saying, hey, Bob, Mary, price. And that's their first time closing throughout their whole process.
Right.
So there should be a lot of what's called trial closes, like what you're doing, so that by the end of it, they're leading it to that end result. And it's not their first time. I was saying, like, so again, another example of a trial close is like, as from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most, how important is this as protecting your family to you?
Perfect. Yeah. Love it.
Right. And like different things like that I think are little things that agents need to know with our business and how it's going to help them take their game to the next level.
Yeah.
By doing more trial closes and get to the end result of protecting that family.
Yeah, for sure.
So I love that. I want to know, kind of shift gears a little bit to, obviously you guys are a growing agency. I kind of want to know, what are some of your guys' personal team goals for 2023?
Yeah. So, I mean, we are very excited. We came into this saying that this thing is so cool. We would be selfish not to share this with every single person we know. Right. So thankfully, with my background in the car business and having the marketing team, I had a marketing team I came in with. They have been a massive help to us. So getting out and just, as a recruiting tool of here's what we're doing now. If anybody wants to come join and, see what we're doing. So our goals are to have 100 agents by the end of the year on our team. And then with that, we want to be, we'd like to help really, we want to help 1,000 families. Am I doing that right? No. Yeah. 1,000 families? 1,000 families. Am I doing the
Yeah,
math right?
1,000 families. Yep.
1,000 families by the end of the year.
Love it.
So that's our goal, is to help 1,000 families get 100 agents just to come and see it. We also are working on. So one of the biggest things for me was having a space that you could go and actually work and be around people. Because in this business, I think it can get very lonely, especially if you're
100%.
not plugging into two-a-days and plugging into the different options for training. I mean, there's so many. I tell every new agent, there's so many opportunities to get plugged in this business. If you feel like you're on an island somewhere, you put yourself there, and that's okay. But let's get you back in community, because everybody wants community in some way, whether that's a little bit or a lot. And we can't do this on an island by ourselves. So having an office for us is a way to have people that are local come in, be around each other, be around the fire, just do life together, and it makes it more fun, honestly. So that's
Love
for
it.
us, is to have we have an office now. We're looking at more space and having a space that we can call home for a while, so that agents can come in, as our next
Yeah.
goal. So
Love it. Obviously you're close to obviously closing on that 100 family mark of families you protect in just a short time here. What is
yeah,
the end goal for 2023 that you personally want to be at?
I want to be at 400 families protected by the end of the year.
So Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, baby.
Love it.
Got to get that right go.
You are well on your way to getting that. So I love it.
So I
And then
came
kind
in,
of,
man. I only had 8 months to do it, so we're gonna come to a fast start and get it done. So
I have zero doubt that you're going to accomplish that. So zero doubt. So kind of lastly, kind of give a parting shout to a new agent
Sure.
getting started. What's one thing that you could kind of give them a tip to focus on through their first week or two here?
Yeah, for sure, guys. So one thing the biggest thing I'll say in this business is there's a lot at the beginning, right? Most people have never, ran their own business. And even if you have ran your own business, you've never had to do this much activity in something brand new and almost expected to perform day one. So one thing I'll tell you is there's no secret sauce but hard work. You just can't, that's what it is. So, and somebody told me this in the beginning, is lead flow plus workflow is going to equal cash flow in this business. So you have to have the ample amount of leads. You have to be willing to put in the time to call those leads, actually help them, and you have to be able to reinvest. You have to be get used to, you're not going to make a bunch of money or help a bunch of families right away. You're still getting used to this job. You're getting a learning curve out the way. So know that from the one. And then the biggest thing I'll say, and I've been saying this to all my new agents, be willing to see the field, because the field at this point is, how can I help this family the best way possible? Sometimes we get so caught up with, I got to show them to protect the whole home or to half the home, and that's the only options. Well, that's not true. I mean, at the end of the day, maybe that I tell my clients, guys, it's my job to make sure that you're not underinsured, but also not overinsured either, because that can happen, and you just almost have too much coverage. Let's just make sure that we have enough and it fits in the budget, and it just gets us to the goals we have, maybe getting to retirement, having that income coming in, or maybe it is paying off the whole home. Whatever that is, be willing to see the whole field and not be so close-minded on, I just can only show these two options every single time, because that might not be the thing that helps the client the best. So
Love that. Love that. Lastly, obviously you're growing an agency, if someone wants to get in contact with you and work with you guys,
yeah,
Team Imagine, how do they contact you?
for sure. So we're on all social media platforms. We also have our own website, imaginefinancial.net. So you can go on there. There's an info page where you can go on, send in your information, and we'll get back with you. But yeah, we're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn as Imagine Financial. So look us up and reach out. We're on there. So
awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you joining today.
thanks, Mike. Appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you. All right, guys, this has been another episode of the RoadMap podcast. Join us next week for another episode. Thanks.